Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another special ranking video. Tonight, I will be revisiting my top 10 hypnosis scenes in TV shows. Now, just like the revisiting of the top 10 hypnosis scenes in movies, I will not be going into details on the plot so much as I will be going into more details on the scenes. From point to point in whatever scene it is. All right, so let's get started with number 10, Doctor Who Season 14, Serial 1, Part 3, which aired in 1976 and was titled The Mask of Mandragora. Now, in this episode, the Doctor's assistant, Elizabeth Slaton as Sarah Jane Smith, is captured by the main villain, and he drugs her so that he can hypnotize her with a pendant.
Now, child, whom do you serve?
I serve you.
And the Doctor?
Doctor is a sorcerer.
And?
Doctor is evil. And must be destroyed.
Now, as you can see, that opening, it's pretty straightforward here. She has been drugged, so she's really loopy and kind of goofy to where she doesn't even know where she's at. So she's just watching the pendant be swung in front of her. And but Elizabeth Slaton does an excellent job, as always, in this sequence.
You stand loose, and the Doctor suspects nothing. You will strike him down. One scratch will be sufficient.
Excellent how the villain ends up, trying to program her to kill the Doctor. I mean, that's something you didn't get much in TV shows with the hypnosis plots, which you should have. I mean, that's some really good reason to hypnotize the main heroine of the story, or whatever, in this case, assistant to the main hero of Doctor Who, and get them to turn on their partner or their friend or whatever, So this was really cool because of that.
How glad he would be to see his young companion.
Coming in at number 9, we have Charlie's Angels Season 1, Episode 2, again from 1976. And this episode was titled The Seance. Now in this one, the lovely Jacqueline Smith is tricked in this one sequence as she's undercover into going into a hypnotic trance by the villain, played excellently by Renee Auberjonois.
I'm going to play some music to help you relax. I want you to concentrate on the music. Are you concentrating?
Yes.
Listen to the sound of my voice.
Jacqueline Smith, the way that she does the falling asleep to the music that's playing, it is so well executed, both in acting-wise, how it was directed, and how Renee Auberjonois plays it as the villain.
Sleep. Can you hear me, Kelly?
Yes.
Good. From now on, each time you hear the music, you will hear only my voice. Do you understand?
I understand.
Jacqueline Smith is already gorgeous, but she makes a beautiful hypnotized subject.
Oh my God, it's a setup. I've been set up. You're a plant. Who do you work for?
Charles Townsend Detective Agency.
Private detectives. Your blonde friend, too?
Joe Monroe.
And again, it is brilliant with this storyline because it sets up to where Renee Auberjonois can use Kelly against her fellow angels.
Do you know who Beamish really is?
Matron.
Yes, but now she calls herself Jill Monroe.
No!
There's no need to be frightened. I'm going to protect you. I can fix it so that Beamish will never bother you again. Would you like me to do that?
Yes.
Great episode here and great sequence. Coming in at number 8, we have Heart to Heart, Season 3, Episode 13, which aired in 1981, entitled Heart of Diamonds. Now, in this episode, we do not really see the moment where Stephanie Powers is actually hypnotized the first time by this character. We catch it in the middle of the story, kind of.
Now, open your eyes, Jennifer. Focus on the light.
Where Kaptune is already basically training her to steal for her under this hypnotic trance that she has put her under.
It is so tranquil, so serene. You feel so peaceful as you go deeper into your dream state.
The sequences where she puts her under, even though her French accent does kind of make some of what she's saying a little hard to understand sometimes, she still makes a very good hypnotist in here. And of course, Stephanie Powers is an excellent subject.
You hear nothing but the sound of my voice.
Yes, Lily.
When we are together, the power of my suggestions becomes stronger and stronger.
Yes.
Great the way that Stephanie portrays it. Great the way it is directed. The lighting, the performances here are great in this sequence. It's the reason why it makes this list. All right, so coming in at number 7, we have The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Season 3, Episode 1, which aired in 1966, entitled The Her Master's Voice Affair. Now, in this one, you have a very creepy older woman played by Estelle Winwood, and she is one of the creepiest hypnotists in TV or movie history, in my opinion. But you do get this great sequence when Robert Vaughn basically realizes what's going on, and he is attacked by Marianne Osborne's character of this teacher who has already been brainwashed by this song that plays and puts all of the girls at this school in a trance. Now, Robert Vaughn is figuring it out, and in this moment here, which is my favorite in this episode, he actually tests out his theory.
I hope you're wrong about this. Okay, we'll find out in just a minute.
Her reactions as she goes into the trance are so well played. Marianne Osborne has an excellent trance look. One of the best. I mean, she nails it in here.
How do you feel?
And her voice when she's doing her change from her normal voice to her, monotone hypnotized voice is just excellent.
I want you to tell me what you want me to do.
Great episode, and that's why it's on this list. All right, so coming in at number 6, we have another Doctor Who season. This time, season 8, serial 1, part 1, which aired in 1971. And this one was entitled Terror of the Autons. Now, in this one, the lovely Katie Manning, who played the character of Jo Grant, ends up overhearing the Master, played excellently by the great Roger Delgado. And he ends up hypnotizing her.
Who went to the radio telescope station?
Myself, the Brigadier, and the Doctor.
Ah, as I thought. Curiosity is his weakness. Well, I shall have to see that it's satisfied.
I love how Roger Delgado exerts his control, and you don't even have to see his face. You just hear that distinct, badass voice as he's walking up to her. You don't see his face hardly at all in that sequence. Excellently done.
You will return to unit with a negative report. You found nothing suspicious? Everything was in order?
Yes, everything in order.
And that is why this one makes my list. It's a short scene.
When you leave this room, you will have no memory of meeting me, only Mr. Farrell.
Only Mr. Farrell.
Your instructions are already implanted. You will obey them without a further word from me.
I shall obey.
And yes, he does instruct her to go back and blow up the place, but that's not part of this scene that I'm showing. But, yeah. Excellent episode. All right, so let's move on to number 5, which is Dukes of Hazzard, Season 6, Episode 13, which aired in 1984, entitled Heiress Daisy Duke. Now in this one, you have the return of the hypnotist, played by Walker Edmondson, and this time, instead of hypnotizing Luke Duke, who the hell wanted to see that? He's actually hypnotizing Catherine Bach's Daisy Duke. Excellent.
Very sleepy. You can't keep your eyes open. She's asleep.
Tell her about tonight.
Daisy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Even though we don't actually see the full scene and we only see where he's already got her asleep, basically, or falling asleep, it is still an excellent sequence. I do wish that I could have saw how they tricked her into coming into the room and everything. That would have been nice, but very, very good sequence here.
Open your eyes. Now, we need 2 phrases, similar but yet different, to tell the young lady who you want her to be.
The only qualm I have about this is Walker's voice in here is kind of a little funny sounding. It's just goofy sounding as he's doing his hypnotized voice and everything in here. But he was a voice actor in a lot of stuff, so, he was used to doing that kind of stuff. So can't fault him fully for that, because that was mostly what he did throughout his career. But the rest of this scene, as it continues, it just gets better and better.
When you hear the words Jefferson Davis Hogg, you will become Vivian Stewart. But when you hear J.D. Hogg, you will be Daisy Duke. Do you understand?
Yes.
Programming her to have 2 different personalities. Regular Daisy Duke, and then the heiress that they want her to pose as. That is a brilliant plot point in this episode. Well done, even though it's got those goofy moments with Boss Hogg.
Jefferson Davis Hall.
Hello, what's your name?
My name is Vivian Stewart, naturally.
I see.
J.D. Hall.
Hello, what's your name?
Santa Claus. Boss, you know my name is Daisy Duke. What the heck are you asking me these questions for, huh?
Excellent episode, and that is why it makes this list. All right, so let's move on to number 4, and my number 4 is Charlie's Angels again. This time, Season 5, Episode 14, which aired in 1981, entitled Attack Angels. Now in this one, fortunately, Jacqueline Smith doesn't get hypnotized again in this one, but just as good, we get Tanya Roberts. And the hypnotist in this is the excellent Eric Braeden.
You just type what the voice tells you to.
You must allow the mind to ease. Let your hands relax on the keys.
The way he sets up this sequence, pretending to seeing how speedy she can type and everything,
body completely relax. Let the light guide your rhythm of the keys, faster and lighter. Julie, this is Mr. Reardon. You may stop now.
I've stopped, sir.
Excellent job here. Once he has her under his control, he does this test in which also he's strengthening his control over her and making his dominance over her even stronger.
You will only hear my voice. Do you understand that? Now light the candle. Now, your hands are very cold, and the flame is like ice. I want you to take your right hand and hold it over that flame. And do as I say, ever deeper now. You're beyond time, beyond pain.
What an excellent sequence. And this is another one where they basically get, Tanya Roberts' character of Julie to turn on her fellow angels. And that is just, and this one, she really is literally kind of fully brainwashed to where she doesn't care. She's just attacking them and trying to kill, and everything before she is snapped out of it by, ironically, Dr. Joyce Brothers. How odd was that? But, all right, so let's move on to my number 3. And my number 3 is Heart to Heart, again. This time, Season 1, Episode 0, released in 1979, which was the pilot episode, Heart to Heart. And, man, Stephanie Powers is one of the best hypnotized victims in any kind of media, TV, movie, doesn't matter. She's just great. And in this one, she gets one of the best hypnotists with Roddy McDowall. Just his voice is excellent. Just watch this.
What's that?
It once belonged to a Maharaja. Isn't it beautiful?
Beautiful.
I mean, just that voice alone could make anybody yes, you've got the crystal. The crystal is great and it could hypnotize someone, but with Roddy McDowall's hypnotic tones, it just lures poor Stephanie Powers in.
You find your mind drifting into the past. Your body begins to relax. You feel yourself beginning to float.
This is an excellent sequence, one of the best ever, and that's why it makes it this high on my list. All right, so coming in at my number 2 and number 1 spots. Now, in my original list, I had these flipped, and I flipped them because I think the one is better than the original one that I had at number 1 and number 2. So, coming in at number 2, we have Doctor Who, Season 11, Serial 1, Part 2, which aired in 1973, entitled The Time Warrior. Now in this one, yes, the villain of Kevin Lindsay does look ridiculous and goofy, but him using this little stick with this glowing light on it to hypnotize Elizabeth Sladen's Sarah Jane Smith is great. It's a short sequence, but it is impactful just because of how well Elizabeth Sladen does going under.
How? Sarah Jane Smith, reporter. In a machine. I did not understand it.
What century?
20th.
Hold on, old girl. Absolutely on target. For once.
Your civilization knows nothing of time-dimensional technology. Explain.
I cannot. It is a machine that belongs to someone called the Doctor.
Explain the Doctor.
He is a scientist. He was at the research center. He said he was very fond of delta particles.
Ah.
Is he here?
Yes, somewhere. I was hiding in the machine when he left.
The camera's clear.
Her voice as she's answering questions in this sequence, it just sounds so good. She was such a good hypnotized subject in these, and I guess that's why they had her get hypnotized so many times in that series. All right, so coming in at number 1 is The Avengers Season 5, Episode 17, which aired in 1968, entitled Return of the Cybernauts. Now in this one you have the lovely Diana Rigg. And she is given this watch by none other than Peter freaking Cushing. And once he activates that watch...
Now...
And then she goes to him. And this sequence when she walks in and his joy, you can tell Peter Cushing was just enjoying playing this villain.
My dear Emma.
Such an excellent performance by Peter Cushing. And he never really got a chance to do this kind of thing before. So getting a chance to really play this kind of a villain, he had played kind of villains before, but this one was one that was basically Bond style. And he was excellent in it.
And wearing my gift, I see. Thank you. You can hear me, Emma. Yes, I see you can. Cool.
So there you have it. We have our revisiting of the top 10 hypnosis scenes in TV shows. So what do you think of this revisiting? Have you enjoyed me revisiting this list? Do you agree with me flipping those number 2 and number 1? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. As a Dark Knight Fan Plus member, you have access to an area on the channel right now where you can request a movie, TV series, or ranking video of your choosing. And when that video goes up, it will go up for all Plus members to view prior to it coming up for all other subscribers on the channel. So if you want to get interactive and help us to get even more reviews that you guys might want to see on the channel, become a Plus member. And if you missed last week's ranking video, check out the link above. And if you missed any of our other ranking videos, check out this playlist and get caught up.